Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Real United States, and welcome to Q&A USA, our weekly show where I try to answer your questions. And we don't have a lot of questions this week, but I'm going to try to make the most out of those that we do have. So our first question comes to us from Felix Malchinsky. He's up there in Quebec, Canada. Felix, how you doing? Thanks for the question. Felix wants to know if we can do some video about snakes. Well, we probably could. The time of year, of course, not too good because, it's getting pretty late in the year. It's getting cold and the snakes have gone in hibernation. There's another small problem about that, and that's that Beverly has a serious aversion to snakes. I'm not particularly fond of them, but I don't have near the aversion to them that Beverly does. So, come spring, summer, if we run across an opportunity to do something on snakes, certainly those that are, indigenous here to the United States, yeah, sure, why not? But certainly not going to happen until spring or summer of next year. But I have no objection to it. So thanks for writing in and the question, Felix. And the next one is from our good friend Superman21986, who said he didn't have a question but asked a question anyway. Wanted to know if I could put some sort of crazy background behind me. Crazy enough for you? Thanks, Superman. Hope you enjoyed that. Now, we have a whole series of questions from a longtime viewer, AEW2, who was especially interested in a lot of things. So we're going to try to answer a few of those questions. One of the questions that was at the top of the list for me was where we would like to go and video here in the United States that we haven't been. Well, that's a little it's a little complicated because I've been most places in the United States. Beverly has not been in the West much, but I have. But if just on the wish list, in terms of, in a perfect world, or if it was financially feasible, both time and money. Certainly we would like to get out to the West Coast. One of the places that I have been, but it's been decades, like Kennedy was in office when I was there last, was to Sequoia National Forest, where the giant redwoods are. Just a beautiful, beautiful place as I remember it, and certainly I've seen many pictures over the years. But it is nothing like seeing it in real life. Sequoia National Forest, oldest trees on Earth to my knowledge. I would love to be able to take you all there and show you that, because that's just a spectacular thing. Obviously, if I was in that area, because it's just north of San Francisco in California, and those of you who have been with me a while know I'm a big fan of bridges. Just a moment. Duana, you have a shadowy figure with a fedora hovering over you. Anyway, the Golden Gate Bridge, of course, is right there in San Francisco, and that's a big historic landmark here in the United States. So I would love to take you all there. I suppose that one of the things that Beverly and I have talked about a lot over the last couple of years is that we would like to do small town Americana on a much more grand scale. In other words, we would like to visit a lot of these small towns, small cities, if you will, the 2,000 to 10,000 population range across many of the states throughout the country. I think that would be a fantastic series if we had the resources to do it, to just bring you all of these little places, because they all have their own unique flavor, their own connection to history, their own claim to fame. And I think that would be a spectacular thing, something that we are hoping to eventually do. I don't know when in the production of this channel we will be able to get to that. Certainly we try to fit those in within the reach of where we can get to now. But that would be something I would like to show you all. I would love to show you the massive corn and wheat fields of the heartland of the country, and so many things. The big historic landmarks, like we've done some of here in Washington, D.C., But the Mount Rushmore and Yellowstone and the places in California like La Brea and Forest Lawn and those sorts of things, that would be fun. I think that would be a lot of fun to go and visit and to bring you all to. But I think that small town Americana is something that would really, really be interesting to everybody. And each time there would be similarities and differences that would be unique to that town. And I think that would be so good to share with the world, especially our viewers overseas, just, what the flavor of life in the United States is really like. It's a part of our country that doesn't get the airtime that the big cities do. And so I think that would be especially good. Other than that, I'd like to go back to Florida because, of course, it's getting late in the season and winter's coming, and I'm getting cold. So, but that's on our list of places. Now, AW2 had another questions. One is where can you send us physical mail? And we don't have a P.O. box yet. I didn't realize that our channel had gotten to a size where that would even be a consideration. Beverly and I will give it some consideration. We'll talk about it, see what we can do about maybe hooking up a P.O. box or something. If you folks are interested in actually contacting us through, regular snail mail, yeah, let me know in the comments below. I'd certainly like to know what the interest in that is. It's probably something we do need to do eventually. I just, again, didn't realize we were quite to that point, but we'll give it some thought. He, AW2, I don't know your actual name or gender, so I'm just going by your screen name. Wanted to know more about Beverly's background. Well, certainly the Yale episode, which is linked in the comments section below, it played very well. A lot of people saw it. That's the hometown that Beverly grew up in. And other than that, perhaps we can get her over time to reveal some more. Beverly grew up on a dairy farm. She raised Grand Champion Holstein Friesian dairy cattle. She holds multiple college degrees, not the least of which is 2 in aerospace technology. So yeah, she got some game. We met actually in college a long time ago, and we were. She was president of Phi Theta Kappa, the National Honor Society, at the time. And when the year I was inducted into Phi Theta Kappa, so that's how we met. We're both nerds. And so I guess it was kind of love at first sight. It certainly was for me. That's how we met, and we were married a couple of years later. So, but again, I don't know exactly what kind of other personal details either that you're interested in or that we'd really care to share in public. But that's where we met. We grew up in small towns that were about 25 miles apart in east central Michigan. So that's why we ended up in the same college together. And we lived happily ever after. It's how do you explain a lifetime, and how that's, and well, part of the question, of course, is how, marriage works in the United States. I suppose marriage works in the United States much like it works everywhere. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But we've been married for coming up on 34 years, and we seem to make it go of it. She's got a saying that the first 10 years are practice, and I think that's probably true. You don't become really proficient, a master at anything until you've practiced it for 10 years. Whether that's a journeyman in skilled trades or a doctor or whatever, you don't really master your craft until 10 years, and I think marriage probably falls into that same category. So that's all the questions that I received from all of you out there, and so I'm going to ask you all a question now. what sorts of topics would you like me to include in this in the event that we don't get sufficient number of questions for any given video? Or would you like to see me talk on a particular subject maybe on another night other than Wednesday, where I just do sort of a vlog style like we're all used to? Would you be interested in something like that? Actually, I've got more questions than y'all. Beverly and I have been considering what the merits of starting a Patreon account would be. And I posted this on our Facebook page and I think on our Twitter account. And I had only one response on that, so I'm going to ask you all here if you would like to tender an opinion about Patreon or about the merits of us using Patreon. I'm curious about it. It's not anything that we've committed to yet. It's something we're discussing and trying to determine whether it's the right thing for us or not. So I would appreciate any comments you could give us on that. And so that's all we have for this week on Q&A USA. Tell me how you like to do opening with the Q&A on it. That's something we just built so I could see if everybody liked it. And if you got any other questions or comments, please leave them in the comments section below. I love hearing from all of you. I'd certainly like to get more questions for next week's Q&A. We're going to try and do this every Wednesday. And if you haven't already, please, I encourage you to pick, subscribe, and come along for the adventure. We certainly love having you all with us. And as always, thank you for watching.